Master Teacher 2 of Kalayaan National High School, Dr. Brenda Leyda Macaraig. Good morning, Doc.
Thank you, Sir Kenneth. Good morning. So before I start with my presentation, let me say good morning, everyone, especially to our school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Jeneline D. Corpus, CESO 5, to our Assistant School Division Superintendent, Dr. Flordelisa D. Pereira, to our Chief Education Supervisor in Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Jocelyn M. Alinyab. And of course, to our new ASDS, Dr. Warren Ramos, to our very supportive, dynamic MAPE Education Program Supervisor, Dr. Danny S. Duyan, and of course, to all the teachers participants in this training workshop. Again, a wonderful and blessed day to all of us. So it is my great honor and privilege to be with you this morning. So my talk is about designing dynamic lessons, techniques for engaging delivery. So in my presentation, next slide po, sir. Ako na lang ba mag-share? Okay. So in my presentation, I will be discussing policy guidelines on daily lesson preparation, the 4 A's design, designing dynamic lesson, and the sample daily lesson log, and the daily lesson plan. Next slide po. Okay. So what is our main goal? Specifically, with the topic that I will be sharing with you this morning. Our goal is to create a dynamic instructional design that will help the students have a holistic learning experience. That is according to DepEd Order number 42, series of 2016. And that is the policy guidelines on daily lesson preparation for the K-12 basic education curriculum, which is in line with the implementation of Republic Act 10533, which is the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. So these policy guidelines on daily lesson preparation have the following aims. First, it aims to support us teachers in organizing and managing their classes and lessons effectively and efficiently. It also ensures the achievement of learning outcomes. Next, it also provides teachers with an opportunity for us to reflect on what learners need to learn and how best to facilitate the learning process. This policy also aims to empower us teachers to be able to carry out the quality instructions that recognizes, of course, the diversity of our learners, committed to learner success, allows the use of varied instructional and formative assessment strategies, including, of course, the use of ICT. Last, it also enables the teacher. Okay, it enables us, the teachers, to guide, to mentor, and even to support learners in developing and assessing their learning across the curriculum. So therefore, with all this objective and aims of these policy guidelines, the LDM, or the learning delivery modalities that we need to make use of in our classes must be customized. According to what? According to our learners, according to their individual learning level, according to their personal characteristics, their learning needs, and of course, their learning styles. So this is in accordance with the DepEd order. Next slide po, sir. So now let me ask you, are the learning standards which has been discussed by Sir Rafi Nugas from MLQ High School, are the learning standards, yung learning content, um, of course, the performance standards, are these negotiable or non-negotiable? What do you think, teachers? May I see your answers? Are the learning standards negotiable or non-negotiable? Okay, so some are answering yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your response. Okay, so learning standard was actually based on DepEd order no number 21 series of 2019. Sabi ko nga, it's the policy guidelines on the K-12 basic education program. So the learning standard was created for what? For the purpose of determining accuracy. We make use of this for estimating the quantity or even judging the quality of our teaching and learning process in our classroom. These learning standards are the stated expectation. Okay, these are the expectations of what our learners should know and what must they be able to do or accomplish. So therefore, teachers must organize, we teachers must organize and plan our instructions with the content and the performance standards and the learning competencies articulated in the K-12 curriculum. So then we can say that learning standards, my dear teachers, are non-negotiable. Next slide, sir. Can the teacher go beyond the learning standards? Can we go beyond the learning standards that was given to us? Is it a yes or a no? Can we go beyond the learning standards? Okay. May I see? Can we go beyond the learning standards, my dear teachers? Okay. So according to the Code of Ethics, thank you for your responses. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So according to the Code of Ethics for professional teachers, it has been said that every teacher shall uphold the highest standards of quality education. Okay? The highest standards of quality education and shall make the best preparations for the career of teaching and shall be at his best at all times in the practice of his profession. So therefore, we can go beyond the learning standards. How can we, teachers, go beyond the learning standards? How can we do it? So teaching beyond the standard, it requires that our instructions must be scaffolded. Okay? It must be scaffolded as our students construct knowledge, which means it is crucial for us teachers to know our students, strengths and needs. So scaffolding instructions can only occur by building on these student strengths and needs. Because as what we can see, no, based on the discussions that has been that has been shared to us by Sir Rafi, that those standards shall serve actually as our primary reference in determining and even implementing our learning delivery approaches, as these must be suited to the local context and the diversity of learners. Sabi nga, diba, what makes great teachers? What makes great teacher is our ability to go beyond the curriculum inspiring, and even encouraging our students with our engaging activities. Parang ano to my dear teachers, binigyan ka ng standard, 'di ba? When we are giving our students tasks or performance for them to accomplish, meron tayong ginagamit na rubrics. What if they go beyond that? Of course, ganun din tayong teachers. We can go beyond that standard. Matutuwa pa nga ang DepEd sa atin yan if we keep on doing our best beyond what is expected of us. Okay? So, can the teacher go beyond the learning standard? The answer is yes. Next slide, sir. Okay. So, we always encounter these words, no? This word, I mean, contextualization. Okay? Why do we need to contextualize? Even when we are asked to be observed by our department heads, right? By the master teachers, hinahanap dyan, kailangan naka-contextualize, okay? Yung lessons natin. So why do we need to contextualize? Students learn best when their experiences in the classroom have meanings and have relevance in their lives. So, papaano magkakaroon ng meaning? How can it have meaning and relevance to their lives? Yung mga lessons na tinuturo natin. That is through the use of contextualization. So, before I proceed, bakit nga ba merong tinatawag na contextualization? No? So, there are actually legal basis for this contextualization. So, first is the governance of the Basic Act of 2001, which is the Republic Act 9155 under Section 2. It has been mentioned there that it encourages the local initiatives for improving the quality of basic education, such as the values, needs, aspirations of school community must be reflected in the program of education. Another thing, schools and learning center shall be empowered. Okay? They shall be empowered to make decisions on what is best for their learners. And then on the Basic Act of 2013, which is Republic Act 10533 under Section 5. So it has been mentioned there, curriculum must be contextualized. Okay, it must be contextualized. And even in DepEd Order number 21, series of 2019, some of the features of the K-12 basic education curriculum, it has been mentioned there that it must be integrative. And again, the word contextualize. So it is a must for us teachers to be able to contextualize. So what do we mean by contextualization then? So contextualization, it actually refers to the educational process of how can we relate the curriculum to the setting, situation, or area of application to make the competencies relevant and meaningful to the learners. So when can we say that we are actually localizing? So when we are talking about something physical in our community, like location and interesting attributes that is being found in our localities, then we are actually contextualizing. What about localizing, okay? Or localization. Localization, it refers to the process of relating the learning content specified in the curriculum to the local information, the local materials within the learner's community. That's how localization works. And then the other one is the indigenization. This indigenization, it refers to the process of enhancing the curriculum competencies, yung ating education resources, and teaching processes in relation to the biogeographical, the historical, um, sociological, and even the cultural context of the learner's community. So if we are actually talking about yung culture and attributes of the people, the way they do things, then we are talking about indigenization. Okay? So how it will work etong contextualization dun sa ating lessons, no? Sa ating pag-construct ng ating uh, daily lesson plan or daily lesson log. Yung contextualization kasi may characteristic yan eh. Sabi nga, we know this, we have this, it must originated from us, the community, and it is ours. Kumbaga, pag tinagalog natin yan eh, masasabi nating, alam natin ito, meron tayo nito, galing sa atin to, at masasabi nating atin ito. So kapag gumamit tayo ng learning in local information, local materials, and then we make use of that in our lessons, then we are actually localizing. Okay? Naglo-localize na tayo. Okay? So kapag binanggit pa natin, in-include natin something about the geographical characteristic of the community dun sa school, halimbawa. O kaya sa atin na lang sa Caloocan, okay? Ano ba yung sikat sa atin? Ano bang meron? Okay? So kapag in-include natin yon, yung information na yon, and even yung socio-cultural dimensions na yon sa lesson natin, so we are actually indigenizing, okay? We are talking about indigenization. Next slide, sir. Okay, so let me ask you now, my dear teachers, are you an effective teacher? Are we an effective teacher? Effective ba tayo? And how to be an effective teacher? So, if we're going to look, dun sa elements of lesson plan natin, di ba? Laging meron tayong, what should be taught? Okay? Di ba? There are 3 questions in our mind for us to create our lesson plan, yung elements na yan, yung what should be taught, ano bang dapat ituro? So, content yon, di ba? Second, yung how should it be taught? Paano ko to ituturo? And then, pangatlo, how should be the learning be assessed? So, naituro ko na, okay? Gumamit ako ng pedagogy, but how the learning will be assessed? So, yung elements na yan, actually, it's all about etong tatlong nakikita nyo ngayon sa slide, no? So, yung expert of K-12 curriculum, we must be the master of pedagogy, and an authority of appropriate classroom assessment. So, let's start with this one. So, we can be an effective teachers if we are expert of K-12 curriculum. So it's all about what should be taught. Okay? So we teachers must have a deep understanding of the curriculum. Okay? Yung kaninang pinresent ni Sir Rafi, dapat alam na alam natin yun, no? We must have a deep understanding of the curriculum, not only yung learning standard, the performance standard, the competencies, but more so is the content itself. Yung mismong ituturo natin, we must have a mastery of that, okay? We must be expert of that, okay? So understanding of the curriculum, and let us strive to be able to teach it content, okay? Its content. So being an expert of the K-12, we can plan in many ways to teach what it contains. So kapag expert tayo ng curriculum, makakapag-isip tayo. We can think of how many ways we can teach the content. So as teachers, we need to be experts of the curriculum for us to be able to implement it effectively and efficiently with the use, of course, of instructional learning materials and the teaching and learning strategies which are suited to our learners' strengths and needs. Second, we must be the master of pedagogy. How are we going to be the master of pedagogy, and why is it important for us to be an effective teacher, no? So, being a master of pedagogy, we teacher must understand the best way for us to conduct our classroom. It gives us insights into how our students learn differently. Kasi kaya nga may diversity of learners, di ba? So, it's important for us to know our learners, their strengths, and their needs. So, if we have a clear idea on how the topic should be taught, we can prepare strategies that help our learners learn and build uh, their learners' understanding. And of course, yung strategies na gagamitin natin, that those strategies really respond to their needs. And another thing, being the master of pedagogy, it gives us teachers an insight into the best practices for our classroom setting, right? So it allows us it allows us to understand how different students learn. So we can tailor our lesson to suit these needs. So this will actually improve the quality of our teaching. Okay? And the last one, an authority of appropriate classroom assessment. Okay? Being effective teachers, we need to have a good classroom assessment plan. Okay? So, naituro na natin ng maayos. But how are we going to assess then? So, kasama yun sa plano natin. Okay? We need to have a good classroom assessment plan that provides us with information about what the students know and what they can do. So, yung effective assessment for students can improve their confidence and even their self-esteem. Tayo ngang mga teachers, di ba, kapag may na-accomplish tayo, parang, wow, I did it. Same true with our students. Kapag nagbigay tayo ng assessment at nagawa ng maayos ng bata yun successfully, it boosts their confidence. It boosts their self-esteem. And that's how we teachers work in giving the assessment to our students. I don't know, no? Pero kasi ako, before, may na-experience akong teacher, no? Alam naman natin, lahat tayo nanggaling sa pagiging estudyante. There, of course, were times na naka-experience din ako ng teacher na sobrang hirap, okay, nung assessment. And most of the time pa, wala dun sa naituro ni teacher yung assessment. So, parang, hirap naman ito. I was not able to, alam mo, pag ikaw ay masyadong competitive, no? You want to give your best. Nagpe-prepare ka, and then all of the sudden, everything that you have prepared on, wala dun sa binigay ni teacher. So, madi-disappoint ang estudyante, diba? So, I do hope, no, hindi tayo ganon, no? Being an effective teachers, we need to have a good classroom assessment plan. Okay? Ito dapat naka-integrate eh. Yung assessment natin, hindi lang yung basta maisip natin. It must be integrated. It must be aligned with the lesson objectives. Based dun sa lesson plan natin, what we need to teach and how we are going to teach it, kailangan yung assessment natin naka-align, integrated siya doon sa objectives. This means that we need to rely on the multiple ways of assessing the learning inside the classroom. Okay? So, if we have this, yung tatlong characteristics na yan, okay? of being an effective teacher. We can be a master of pedagogy, an expert of K-12 curriculum, an authority of appropriate classroom assessment. Then, my dear teachers, we can be proficient in preparing the blueprint of a dynamic lesson. Kayang-kaya natin. Pero syempre, let me remind you, no? Sabihin nating madali, it's not actually easy. Everything is not easy. We need to prepare, to give time. Naghahanda tayo. But as long as we give time to everything that we will be doing, we can do it effectively and efficiently. So then, we can be proficient. Okay? So, paghahandaan natin. Okay? Yang pagpe-prepare ng ating blueprint, ng ating dynamic lesson. And for us to be able to do that, let us prepare ourselves to be the master of pedagogy, an expert of the K-12 curriculum, and an authority of appropriate classroom assessment. Next slide, sir.